A Netflix original wins the box office. Marvel to leave the US, and Paramount looks to make another massive move. All this and so much more in this episode of Beyond the Screen. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting edition of Beyond the Screen. I'm your host, Ryan, and with me, as always, is Jake Holtzclaw. Jake, how are you?
I'm all right. I got a big week. I got a big week ahead of me. I'm editing the short film Ryan and I worked on, and Emily. I didn't mean to say Emma. That was a in there. But Emily, Ryan, and I worked on a short film, and it is up to me to save everybody's butts.
Yeah, you make my shots look good, and you're not. No, I thought it was funny the way you said it. You busy and just left it there.
Yeah, I didn't prepare anything for this episode. Usually do. Usually have something to talk about, but
yeah,
not really. So Ryan, how was your weekend?
it was very good. Just busy as normal. I think I said last week. This past week was the first week of actual class. I work at a university in higher ed. So this week was crazy. As you can imagine, all the students getting back, and I am like marketing and outreach for 3 different unique bodies and programs, and all the professors are like, "Can you make me this?" And it's like, ah! And so that was a fun 5 days. But other than that, when we got to the weekend, I celebrated one of my brothers. He's a senior, and so it was fun to hang out with him and watch him do his thing. And then on Sunday, for those of you who don't know, our audio listeners, I'm engaged. And so I had some.
Bro, I didn't even know that.
Bro, no way. Why is it not me? Says Jake. But we on
We
Sunday.
got engaged?
On Sunday, some of our closest friends. Jake's making the joke because he was at the event that I'm about to describe. But and so was Emily. And so we
Physically, maybe.
yeah. And so on Sunday we celebrated, like had like a little engagement like celebration with our closest friends and coworkers and stuff. And so that was really cool. But other than that, it's just trying to take a breather where you can. But yeah, it was a good weekend. Emily, join us. How was your weekend before we get into our micro segment that begins our show?
Hello, friends.
Hey.
Hello.
My weekend was good. I unfortunately had to hang out with these 2 guys. They may or may not be named Jake and Ryan.
They may or may not be engaged.
Yes. Anyway, so yeah, we got together after Ryan and his lovely fiance's engagement party. Congratulations, by the way, again for like the 4th time. Anyways,
Thank you.
we got together and filmed some awesome content for our social media that you guys will be seeing distributed throughout the next like 2.5 months. So that was fun. My lovely partner is also visiting this weekend. And we got to do a lot of fun stuff. We had like hot tea and got to go on walks and play guitar together yesterday and go out for coffee and stuff. So it's just been fun. It's a lovely time with him. We just get to read and chill out and do old people stuff.
Yeah, that does sound
Ripe
very
old age of
lovely.
23.
What?
At the ripe old age of 23.
I know, it doesn't feel like it.
Have any soup?
Yeah. Huh?
Have any soup?
That might be too niche of a joke for this moment for this audience. Without explaining what that is calling back to, we're gonna go ahead and get into our first micro segment. So stay with us, Emily. For those of you who are new to the show, we always start with what are we drinking? That is a micro segment that we begin with every episode because we have to have a little pick me up to get through the episode. And we all notice that we all do this. We didn't talk about it. We just individually do, and we think it's funny to discuss and to see what kind of mood we're in based off of the beverage we consume to get through our nightly every Monday episode. So, Emily, we'll start with you. What beverage do you partake in tonight?
I'm having my usual. This is hot hazelnut cookie black tea. It's absolutely delicious. It's a cozy dessert tea, basically. It's nice and black and LOL. I think.
Wrap it up.
Derailed.
What are you drinking?
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll go into the next one. Clip that. Clip that. We'll go into the next one. I am mixing it up tonight. I am doing something different. I am drinking our first controversial corner for our visual learner or for our visual watchers. You will just have seen that. We have a graphic for when usually it's for Jake's off-colored comments, but Emily did it to herself. She's the first controversial corner participant. So thank you, Emily, for breaking that in for us.
Would be me.
For our audio listeners, you may or may not hear a random beep every now and then when that happens, and it's not you, it's us. And I'm sorry that if you ever hear it, but it'll be funny for everyone involved. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. I mixed it up. I had some extra time, and so I drank my coffee earlier, which is why I'm like juiced up with caffeine in this moment. But I decided to hop on the Arnold Palmer train, some good old tea and lemonade. It's delicious. Some caffeine and some sugar to get, no, not that, not that at all. And so to get through the old night, and I'm very happy with it. Very, very delightful.
Liquor.
No, not that either. Just tea and lemonade. That is it. And now, Jake, will you please tell us what you are enjoying tonight?
Comically large red Solo cup of coffee and blue Takis.
Is the coffee iced or hot?
It is iced. I was told that it was UDF coffee, but it was in a silver pouch and it just had on the bag something mocha. And sure.
Can you taste it? Is there any mocha in there?
I don't think so. But I don't necessarily. Huh?
Sounds kind of sketch.
It'll be all right. That's
what I meant by black tea is that it's a very soothing tea that I usually drink when like I've had a long day, and that's what I meant. But it's a nice dessert tea, and then during the fall time I usually drink pumpkin spice, but this is one that I drink for like coziness. That's what I meant. Coziness year round. That's what I'm drinking right now.
Thank you. And with that will conclude our micro segment that we start every episode with. So following that, our first major segment is box office news. But before we hop into what happened this past weekend, we're going to humiliate ourselves yet again and talk about what we predicted. We did not predict accurately. We were both very wrong. So starting with Jake, me and Jake, actually, our first three were the same. So we both started off the exact same. Honey Don't did not finish first. You'll see where it finished. We were very off on that one. But we both predicted Weapons and Freakier Friday would finish second and third. We were right about that. Now, this is where we start to split heavily. I had said that Nobody 2 and Fantastic Four would slide down. I was wrong on both of those. Fourth and fifth did not go to Nobody 2. Fantastic Four, you'll see where they finished. And then Jake predicted Eden and Splitsville would finish fourth and fifth, respectively, and those were also wrong. So we both finished 2 of 5 this week, and they were the same 2 of 5. And again, very incorrect. We're not going by like, for those who are watching and like who like enjoy this segment, this is with our hearts. We're not doing any forecasting. We're not trying to like look at anything and say, oh yeah, we think because of the numbers. We're like, what do we like? And we're hoping that one day we get it right. So it's for the fun, not for the actual act of getting correct.
I definitely made a mistake and said Eden, but didn't know that it was a limited release.
No, it's okay. Well, as you'll see, the number 1 technically also was a limited release, and it popped off. So it's not necessarily incorrect to think that something like that could happen.
Also, Splitsville was. It only released a 5.
Okay, yeah, that's probably not. That was probably not great. But
I set myself up for failure.
Yeah, but with that, we're going to go ahead and tell you what actually happened with the box office with our box office numbers. So finishing first is K-Pop Demon Hunters, the animation feature from Netflix, then followed by Weapons, Freakier Friday, Fantastic Four finishes fourth again, and then Bad Guys 2 from Universal rounds out our top 5. We'll go through the numbers and give you a quick, like a deeper dissection of what happened this past weekend. So going back to the top, K-Pop Demon Hunters, in a surprising twist, Netflix gets its first box office win in its history with the 2-day domestic theatrical release of their streaming hit, K-Pop Demon Hunters. It was a limited sing-along. That was what they did. They said, you know what, over 1,700, just over 1,700 theaters. They're like, hey, 2 days, Saturday, Sunday, call people. And they showed up.
Arguably not a limited release.
1,700 is, come on. It's not like, what is the average release for theaters? It's, you're saying 14 something for Eden was a limited release, but 1,700 for K-pop isn't?
Eden was 600.
Oh, I thought we just talked about this. Wasn't that one the one with 13?
No, 664 theaters showed
Oh,
Eden,
we were talking about Honey Don't. That's right. My bad. Apologies. Honey Don't had a more limited release that was closer to K-pop Demon Hunters.
which that's somewhat arguable, but I feel like you start getting closer to 2000. That's just kind of like a
Nah, look
haphazard.
at the
I know there's threes in there, but
almost
like
4. Most of them are over 3.
limited release to me is not half of the usual.
Is what sub
but
1000 for you then? Is that what you're counting as limited release?
I get like I would have a second term like for the 1500 area being
Medium?
like a half release kind of deal. Like,
Okay.
but yeah, sub 1000 might be a limited because that's a third of all theaters.
So this is where I will say is that 1700 it can reach a national scale, but that is not getting like every theater. That is like if you
No.
are in any state, you're going to have to go to the next big town to see it. But
Well, I'll put this in perspective. How to Train Your Dragon is in its 11th week, and it's still in 1,178 theaters.
I think you're helping my point more than yours.
Well, okay. How about Superman? Superman's in 2,000 on its 7th week.
Again, you're still helping me because what I'm saying is it's not a wide release because Superman and How to Train Your Dragon are over or just about still the same number, and they're in over a month or almost 4 months, 3 months. So
I don't know.
So anyway,
I don't know what I meant. I don't know what I was doing with making that point, but I don't think 1,700 should be counted as a limited. I just think that 1,500 of them didn't want to play anime.
No, you're right. And well, the other thing too, another reason why you can call it limited is because it was only for 2 days. It was only Saturday, Sunday is when they released it. It hit theaters on Saturday and it still finished first. So the film earned 18 million and is a hit with young audiences, which is a theme for today's episode. You'll hear a lot about younger audiences and certain demographics, which will come into play in our next segment. But the animated film from Sony Pictures, which is the same crew that makes the Spider-Verse series, first debuted on Netflix earlier this year on June 20th. So this film has been out for a month and a half, 5 weeks, something like that. And it's chugging along as it goes into theaters. Instantly, it became a hit, not only on our screens when it debuted on June 20th, but also in our ears. As Billboard's Top 200, it rose to 2. Its soundtrack is crazy, which is why they did the re-release or the release to theaters as a sing-along. So again, distribution hit 1,700 theaters, sing-along with, we have like here, I did throw something in here so you guys could see it too, especially you, Jake. You saw the audience's reaction to that. This theater, these kids were absolutely singing along. I mean, it's crazy how this sounded in theaters. So the question is, where did Demon Hunters come from, and why is it such a big hit after 5 weeks of it already being on our screens at home? How on earth did, in a less than 2/3 theaters nationally, succeed so much?
You're asking me that?
Yep.
Dude,
In your mind.
I heard of it. No, I don't know. Like my girlfriend and her friend watched it together. And the only way that I can attribute it is to like the Wizard of Oz or Wicked like level of involvement is what we're seeing. It being on Netflix, is this like one of those once in a lifetime but like proper ways to come out with something like this? Is drop it on Netflix, let the hype build, and then release it in theaters?
I feel like it works for sing-alongs, but it doesn't work for other things.
Yeah, I don't. So, and you're thinking it's younger kids, likely.
I think that's a demographic that more than likely it hit. But also another interesting point too is what did we just talk about last week with Netflix and theatrical releases? A lot of the reason that the Duffer Brothers are parting ways, for the most part, they still have things that they have to produce because they've made a deal already. But the Duffer Brothers, who are the creators of Stranger Things, are leaving Netflix for Paramount because Netflix would not give them a theatrical release. They turn around. Right. The same week that the Duffer Brothers leave, they give Guillermo del Toro and his Frankenstein movie a release, literally days from when it was announced the Duffer Brothers were leaving Netflix. And then the weekend after that, they released K-pop Demon Hunters.
I just looked up K-pop Demon Hunters, and at the top of my Google is a scroll that just says couch over and over again. An exclamation point. Couch, 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 couch.
What did you do? What did you do?
I think it's a reference. But I wanted to see like imagery of it, and I just saw kind of like what we have at the bottom, but it just says couch over and over again.
This episode is unhinged.
Explain
now.
this reference to me.
Yeah. No, the art is beautiful. It looks like Spider-Verse. It looks like Spider-Verse, that comic booky type look that's really aesthetically pleasing. Like it does have that. But the thing is, it's not the art that I keep seeing people talk about. It's not even the music. Apparently the story is phenomenal.
That's what my girlfriend was saying, is like it was really good in terms of just action and thrills, I guess.
Yeah.
Something just nostalgic kind of deal.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's about it.
Maybe
I have to watch it.
Yeah, I've definitely, it's on my radar. I mean, it's been on the list. There's a lot of things to watch. However, something to think about too is, again, we'll talk a lot about Gen Z in particular. It's one of our major stories. When Gen Z wants to go out and watch something, they hit it hard. It's just they don't do it as often, which again, we'll come back. That put a pin in that. But that is interesting to note. Going down the list of our top 5, Zach Kreger's horror original Weapons continues an insane run at the box office, earning another $15.6 million domestically this past weekend, bringing its domestic total up to $115.9 million, an overall total up to $199.4, a less than $40 million produced film. Its production budget was less than $40 million, is earning $200 million. An original horror film in 2025. I just think that's a fun statement to say. Finishing third is Freakier Friday, Disney's sequel legacy remake, earning 9.2 domestically. Its totals equal out to $70.5 million domestically and $113 million globally after 3 weeks in theaters. Finishing fourth is Marvel's Fantastic Four: First Steps. Crossing into its second month in theaters, F4 earns another $5.9 million domestically, bringing its totals to $257.3 million domestically and $479 million globally. And rounding out our top 5 is, again, Universal's Bad Guys 2. Already hitting the month mark in theaters, Bad Guys 2 earned $5.1 million domestically, bringing their totals up to $66.2 million domestically and $149 million globally. So something to note about Bad Guys 2, it is chasing its originals output, which earned $250, and it's already in week 4, and it's not even, it's barely 100 or over 100 away. So good or bad, I think people put too much emphasis on numbers, but that is something to keep track of with Universal and Bad Guys 2. Other things to note before we get to our predictions for next week. Superman crosses the $600 million mark globally, this making it the one comic book film in this year to cross that line. And Ethan Coen's Honey Don't finishes 8th in the box office, which is not what we expected. I thought Audrey Plaza and Margaret Qualley with a Coen brother directing would do a lot, and it didn't. It underwhelmed in every way, shape, or form. So with that, Jake, you're filling in your top 5 right now. Is there anything that caught your eye from this past week's box office outside of top 5? Then we'll get to predictions.
I just read a Reddit on the K-pop Demon Hunters, and it was a guy who went and watched it just because he was bored. I gotta sneeze. All right.
No, you're good.
And the way that he put it was he didn't realize it was a sing-along when he got there. and he's like, I thought it was going to be like teens and preteens. He said it was genuine like toddlers running around.
Oh.
Like young, sub 10 years old.
Oh, that's interesting.
He said, I'm pretty forgiving when it comes to like kids having genuine fun. I probably would have walked out if it was like the Minecraft movie. So
interesting.
Or wholesome, but this is that kind of gives me a window into who actually was showing up in the theaters. So, and that was just one theater, one guy off of Reddit, but I can make a generalization and say that that's probably what most theaters were. So it's odd to hit with like super young, but it must have been like on the front page of Netflix Kids. Like, don't they have a kids version?
They do, yeah.
And it probably caught a lot of eyes or something. I don't know. Because we're not on that side of like social media or have like the like the For You page or the
algorithm. Yeah.
Like we likely didn't see it because that wasn't the demographic that K-pop Demon Hunters was like shooting for.
Yeah.
Whereas arguably my girlfriend and her friend, not to hate on them, but they do watch like more kid-oriented movies just for the nostalgia stuff. So super into Studio Ghibli, like super into the Disney, super into Pixar. Like we just watched Home with I don't know, I don't remember the actors now, but like Sheldon Cooper as the alien. Basically.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Rihanna and
Rihanna, yeah.
I can't
And
remember
she
his name.
absolutely ate it up. Never seen it before. Love that movie. So, and it's a great movie. I'm just saying, it's like that's probably why it was on her page, or they knew about it and I didn't, because I got guys who were blowing engines out of their hoods and
Yeah,
doing illegal stuff on mine. So,
Jim Parsons is the name
Jim
of yeah,
Parsons, yes,
and that is a good movie though. Home is a phenomenal film.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah. I can't get her to watch Big Hero 6. She says it's too sad, which it is.
it's pretty sad. Yeah, I can't blame her for
Um,
that.
but it's another one of those ones that it's like, oh, it's too good. It's so good.
It's worth one
But
watch.
yes. Anyway, with our predictions, I didn't get done with mine. Man, Ryan's got an upset in there that makes me wonder.
Dude, we've been so wrong. Please don't use mine as a basis because I'm
I
so
know, I know.
incorrect.
That's why I was like, he must have something up his sleeve.
Nope. I've been keeping my eye on this one for a while, and I said, why not? That's literally why. Oh, you did what I wanted to do, but I didn't have the gall. I'm so happy you did though, because we get to talk
Bro
about it.
doesn't have it.
I don't. I don't
And
have. The...
sorry, folks at home. We're kind of just talking about something you can't see.
Please go, Jake. Explain. Fill them in.
I'm trying to. I didn't get done yet.
Oh, I thought you. Never mind.
do
Sorry.
yours.
Okay, I'll do mine first. So the way that I have mine, I think Caught Stealing with Austin Butler. That is it's not a PTA. Who's directing that one? While I look that up, I just feel like Austin Butler with that cast and crew. You got Matt Smith in there. I see a lot, and again, I'm of the demographic that would like a drama like this. So it's Aronofsky. It's Darren Aronofsky. So that big name director with a lot like Bad Bunny, Zoe Kravitz, Austin Butler, Regina King, a ton of big names are in this. Liev Schreiber. So I really think that this film can take off. It looks fun. And I don't know. I want to say that it would finish first. I want this type of film to take off. It's like when Sinners took off and it was satisfying. This is another one like that. Will it be as good as Sinners? Probably not, but I want it to be. Finishing second, I have The Roses. That's my upset pick. That's with Olivia Colman and Benedict Cumberbatch as a married couple, and they are going through a rough divorce, and it looks hilarious. And I feel like Benedict Cumberbatch is a big enough name that in a otherwise slow week, because the third film that's coming out that would probably do something is I'll leave to Jake. But there's really not a lot of anything else other than what's already established that could keep a film like The Roses from taking off. And I feel like
We've got the trailer.
Yes.
That was one I added today for you guys because I hadn't heard of The Roses. I don't think.
Yes, it looks great.
It's under our radar.
Yes, and I'm excited to see it. And then I don't know. Now, I want to put this caveat in there is just because we're calling it a limited release for this past weekend, I don't know if KPOP Demon Hunters is still going to be in theaters next weekend. I don't know.
Yeah, I had no idea. That's why I was worried.
I left it out for that because I thought maybe it wouldn't be. I thought maybe this was like a one weekend thing. But if it stays in theaters, this is all wrong, and KPOP Demon Hunters is still going to be at the top somewhere. But moving down the line, the rest of them fall back down. I think Weapons finishes third, Freakier Friday fourth, and Fantastic Four finishes 5. And then that is my top 5.
So I have Caught Stealing, as Ryan does. I think Weapons is going to hold, and Freakier Friday is going to hold. And then Toxic Avenger will take 4th. And Ryan, do you know anything about Toxic Avenger besides Peter Dinklage is in it?
We talked about this on the show when the trailer dropped like 2 months ago. And it looks so fun. Go ahead, Jake.
A horrible toxic accident transforms downtrodden janitor Winston Goose into a new evolution of hero, the Toxic Avenger. And I guess it's kind of like it's just a superhero of movie. I've never heard of it. It's not good IMDb review so
It's
far.
a remake of a 1980s film. And when the Toxic Avenger, like, he's just a normal dude, he like falls into like the comically large vat of acid and he gains like superpowers, and he like becomes this like, he looks like a goblin, like super like green. Is it green skin that he has?
Kind of. Yeah. He looks like a zombie, man.
Yeah. And he has like this staff with this weird like organic glowing green ooze on the end that he just smacks people with, and it looks hilarious. It just looks really funny, and I wanted to say what you did and say it would finish top 5, but I have
That's why I put it at 4. I think it'll, and then I have Fantastic Four for 5th. I think it'll hold. Hopeful. I know. I don't think there's anything else that'll come out in the future that I think will take over. I mean, yeah, I don't think any of these will do it besides the Roses, Caught Stealing, and the Toxic Avenger. And I didn't even put Roses in the top 5 because I don't think it'll do it. Like, I know my mom will like it, but I don't think it'll do very well.
it's like Caught Stealing. I want to see it succeed, so I'm putting it there. I am not looking at we're not looking at any forecasts. We could easily pull up and say, what are these films predicting? But I don't think that takes the fun out of making a prediction, right? Like it's like
We're gambling here, folks.
So
That's the whole point.
Also, I am dumb because the way I described the staff he holds, it is a mop.
Oh, is it?
It is a mop that he dipped in the ooze before he fell in like some water, and that's how he gets contaminated. It is a radioactive and like solid mop because he's a
I was gonna say it looks solidified.
He's a janitor. So it's also got Elijah Wood. He looks like the Penguin. He's the villain. Like if you like imagine like the Danny DeVito Penguin from the Tim Burton and Michael Keaton. That's what he looks like in this film. It just looks, and he also like there's a scene where he gets shot and he bleeds blue. Like it just looks really interesting. So I don't know. I think it looks funny. I think who is that? Is it Ethan Hawke? That's who it looked like.
And you've got Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon is that's not Ethan Hawke. It's Kevin Bacon. You're right. I wanted so badly to put Toxic Avenger in my top 5, but I just don't think it will be there.
You know?
I don't. It's more fun than the Roses, but I feel like the Roses is a lot more family friendly.
You're scared.
I am. You're right. I don't have the gall.
It looks bad.
Looks gnarly. Oh, that's fun though. You can't tell me that doesn't look like it's gonna be fun. Oh no.
I worry. I worry about putting it at 4. I'll hold true, but
to recap, Jake is predicting Caught Stealing 1, Weapons 2, Freakier Friday 3, Toxic Avenger 4, and Fantastic 4 at 5. And I am predicting Caught Stealing 1, The Roses 2, Weapons 3, Freakier Friday 4, and Fantastic 4 at 5. And we will see how wrong we are next week. So come back and listen. So other than that, Jake, any final thoughts on the box office before we move into our major news segment?
I have none, Ryan.
Thank you. And we will move on. Coming up after the break, Disney looks to cater its content towards a new demographic, and are Marvel productions seriously leaving the United States? Hear about it after the break. Hello and welcome back to Beyond the Screen. You've made it to segment 2, which is always major news. We'll have some major news in segment 3, but usually segment 3 for our new viewers, if there are any, it's trailers and it's what you should know before you go, which is quick hits, and you'll hear about that later. But first, we have 2 major stories to talk about that are going to impact the overall Hollywood and entertainment media industry. So we'll start with Disney, as most times have happened in the past when you talk about Hollywood. Disney looks to better reach the 13 to 28-year-old audience demographic with original IP. Finally, right? Like, that's what people are thinking. Like, oh, they're finally trying to reach the youth. They're changing their demographic. The thing is, it's not just 13 to 28-year-olds in general. It's male. 13 to 28 male is what they're catering towards. That is the big thing. It is they want the young men to come to theaters. That is who they're catering towards. According to Variety, leadership at Disney has been pushing creatives throughout Hollywood to come up with new original. I want to harp on that word. I want to pause for a second. Dramatic effect. Original content that can better connect to the 13 to 28-year-old male demographic, or otherwise, and notoriously known as Gen Z. Hey, it's us.
Well, I was wondering where the cutoff was, but that's we're well within that range. So
yeah, no, that is us. We
not
are
you, but
I am.
you're on the edge.
Don't do that. Don't say that. I'm well within.
You're
I'm well
practically
within.
pushing 40.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, we're going to emphasize. We're going to move on. I'm not going to fight into that. We're going to emphasize and put a
Okay.
lot of emphasis on original content because Disney, the king of nostalgia bait and sequels and remakes, is talking to Hollywood and pressuring screenwriters and directors to come up with new stuff because, shockingly, the youth don't care about what came out in 2004. Whoa!
Whoa.
Isn't that crazy? Anyway, a lot of this comes back to the fact that major franchises like Star Wars and Marvel just aren't doing it anymore. Whether it's Marvel not pumping out billion-dollar hit after billion-dollar hit, or it's with Star Wars where the last films you've done haven't been successful, and you're taking forever to come out with new stuff. So they're long time on top of the remakes and on top of the sequels, but your long time franchises that usually absolutely hit and run with this demographic are not doing so anymore. So Disney looks around and they're like, what can we do? How can we pull back this demographic? They're looking for original content and they're turning to some pretty big names in the Hollywood realm to help them out. So reportedly, David Greenbaum, who was formerly head of Searchlight Pictures when Searchlight was owned by Fox, or 20th Century Fox, is one of the figures that Disney is turning to make this mission to capture Gen Z's attention possible. Just last year, Greenbaum was hired to lead the live-action film side of the company. So when you think about live-action and Disney outside of Marvel, it was back in the day. It was Pirates of the Caribbean. It was, again, Star Wars, and just so on and so forth. And none of those franchises have done anything. So they bring on Greenbaum, who technically, they probably just inherited his contract because they bought Fox. So either way, they bring him in and they say, you're head of live action films, do something about it. And now he's in that position and they're saying, please help us cater towards this young male audience. So what did Greenbaum do? He made some decent moves earlier this year, and that is in the form of hiring former co-president of Paramount Studios, Daria Kurchek. So Kurchek is known for helping usher in A Quiet Place Sonic and Smile at Paramount before leaving in early 2025 in, I think, February, when all the stuff was coming out about David Ellison and the purchase of Paramount from Skydance actually going through. She leaves, and now she's in place to help Greenbaum at Disney in live action. So both of these moves signal a change in direction for the media Goliath, to the shock of rival companies, because Disney is winning the 2025 box office. They're going to be the most profitable film output company this year, as were they last year too. Looking forward to this year, Zootopia 2 and Avatar Fire and Ash are both films that could... Fire and Ash will probably gross $1 billion. Like, I don't think that's crazy to say. Zootopia 2 has a lot of hype behind it. And they've had 2 or 3 Marvel movies already cross the $500 million or at least the $400 million mark. Whether or not they're profitable, they're not in the red anymore. So Disney's going to make money this year. To the shock of rival companies, they're pivoting, even though they're winning. And that is because they cannot promise themselves absolute success in the decades moving forward. Because think about 15 years ago, millennials and young Gen Zers were really, and I say young, I mean like Gen Z, starts in like 97. So it's like they kind of catch some of the millennial, I don't remember the age range for when millennial end and Gen Z begins, but it's like late 90s. That demographic also kind of ate into what the millennials were doing. So that crew that was watching Lion King and The Little Mermaid when they were first coming out, for the last 15,
97.
I would say from 2000 to 2018-ish, they were eating up all the live action. They were eating up Marvel. That's not a thing anymore. And if you look forward 10 years, it's only going to get worse because that demographic, that older demographic, is getting pushed out. And the generation to follow is not going to theaters. So Disney sees that. They're making a pivot to the shock of companies that are not them because they're winning right now. So the play, what do you do? If you can look forward and you can look into the crystal ball and you know that you don't have the audience you want, what do? You turn towards original content, as we talked about. And again, if the original report says anything from Variety, it says that, again, baiting with nostalgia and remakes and sequels don't do it for this generation. You bring in some executives who have big names to bring in the content creators that they're trying to fight to, i.e. going back to the beginning of the story where they're pressing and pushing for screenwriters and directors to come up with new content, right? But something else we haven't talked about is something that Disney did kind of in the dark alongside of hiring Greenbaum. Disney bought $1.5 billion worth of stake in Fortnite. So Fortnite characters their skins will more than likely be a lot of Disney characters moving forward. and that is the
Which
other.
we already are.
Yeah. So it's going to continue. So that's another thing. I mean, you think of like the Darth Vader thing we talked about earlier in the year when the AI was going nuts in Fortnite. Do you not remember that? We talked about it.
No, I'm thinking about their possible plans with Fortnite.
But that is interesting, though, is you bring in, like, you have this huge plan to cater for the next 20 years to younger audiences, and you buy into a video game that younger audience is probably on. So and it's not a little bit.
We've seen concerts in Fortnite. We're gonna see a short film in Fortnite. We're gonna see a little movie in Fortnite. I guarantee it. There's gonna be something. There's gonna be a debut of a TV show, or like I'm gonna say like a Mandalorian level debut, and it's only gonna be able to be seen through Fortnite.
You might be right, because think about it like this, and you actually started answering the question, and I've kind of given some thought into this as I was reading. The question for this story was, what do we think of this pivot from Disney? And you kind of already answered that, or at least started to answer that. You're right, because think about it like this. If Disney has equity in Fortnite and they want Fortnite to continue to succeed, what do? You say, hey, The Mandalorian season whatever is about to come out. If you buy the Battle Pass, you can watch it a month early.
Yeah, that too. I hate that, but yeah.
And you have to watch it in Fortnite, like the app. It'll be like a little thing, like you have to be in the game to see it. Isn't that nuts?
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But yeah, I think that's what they're gonna do. There's gonna be some kind of tie to some exclusivity, and you can't really like constrain it to just Fortnite, because like my parents and people who else watches Fortnite, like, there's just, it's gonna have to be something so exclusive that like it's a big deal, and you'll want Fortnite if you're like a big proponent of whatever they're gonna debut. But I don't think you can alienate all audiences.
Yeah.
Because my parents aren't gonna get on Fortnite and buy the battle pass just to
No.
watch something. So it can't be like something so crucial to a story that you can't get your hands on it.
No, you're right. But the thing is, I would argue that what they're saying is your parents' demographic doesn't matter. They don't feel like they need to buy their demographic because they already have it. Because that's why you do the Fortnite, is because it's not connected to that. Like, you don't care about the older audiences.
I still don't think you make it crucial to any story. It just has to be so groundbreaking.
Yeah, and new.
Or something like Shrek or Cars level insane, if they can pull something like that off and put it in Fortnite.
My thing is, I don't think this will succeed the way they want, because when you think about it, like yes, stereotypically, right? Like young men, video games and movies, live action violence. That's not really true anymore. Like, video games more so than the other, but like, I don't know about you, or maybe other Gen Zers out there who listen to this. Fortnite's kind of not something that a lot of my friends partake in anymore. Right?
We are on the higher
end. I know, but it's just like,
we are 10 years from the end of Gen Z.
Technically, Gen Alpha's already started. Gen Alpha is the one.
Gen Alpha started after 2012, which is what I'm saying is you're even further, but we are 10 years from that line. We're actually closer to the beginning of Gen Z.
Yeah.
And so arguably the majority of that generation likely still is on Fortnite.
We're prime Gen Z. All right. That's what I'll say. But
they're saying the cutoff is 04 to 05.
For what?
Prime. Gen
oh,
Z.
Yeah. No, you're right. No, and so I don't know. It's just, again, I mean, we know a bunch of people around our age, and we are, yes, maybe on the upper end of Gen Z, but we are very Gen Z. And I can tell you, the people I know who are our age who play video games, they don't play Fortnite because Fortnite hits an audience younger than them. So it's like you're hitting the younger end of Gen Z, but really, Gen Alpha's 10 to whatever now.
The Minecraft movie generation.
Yeah, like that's the thing, is that it's just, I just feel like when Gen Z goes out to theaters, this was a point I made in the first segment, is when they go to theaters, they're going out in force to support things. Think about what succeeded when. Minecraft won because it was what? It was a joke. Nosferatu succeeded because it was a joke. And a lot of that was younger audience. Going back to 2022, something Variety in this article pointed out. When Minions, The Rise of Gru came out, what was the joke? showing up in the dress, in like the full garb, the full 3-piece suit, and walking around.
Yeah. For
That's
the Minion movie.
that is what our generation and a little younger than us go to movies for. And I hate to say our, because like we're definitely
Barbenheimer.
Barbenheimer. We're definitely an exception to that on this pod. But the general consensus is like when you look around, that's what our age group goes and gravitates towards is what they feel like they can really connect to. And when they show out, they show out in force. So I'm not even going to say Barbenheimer. I'm going to just straight up say Barbie. Barbie's a $1 billion movie because younger audiences felt like they could connect to it and it was funny. It was fun. That's the crux of it. You can't just tell a good story. It has to be fun. K-pop Demon Hunters, exceptional example. It is fun and it's a great story. And that is
Which arguably it was still even younger generations.
Yeah, but like I would still say Gen Z hit that too, but yes, even younger. So I feel like I see this, and while it's cool to watch Disney pivot and say, okay, we know what we have to do. It's cool to see them again. I made the analogy of like looking into the crystal ball. Like that's cool. However, or the metaphor, that's cool, but I just think that I think it's old people making decisions about young people, and that never really goes like that doesn't go well.
I hope we get another Cars movie, like Cars-esque movie out of it. I just want something cool again, man.
Man, Lightning McQueen.
I know it's Pixar, but like
Lightning McQueen flipping again. He done it again. He's crashing.
Oh no, I didn't really care for how that one ended, but a lot of people are like, it's the perfect ending.
Cars 3 was.
Like,
I disagree with you, actually. I think
No.
Cars 3 was a good ending.
I wanted to be nostalgic and have them somehow find a way. If you know anything about Cars,
Wait a minute.
not the movie.
Hold on. I'm just as we're talking about Cars 3 and I'm remembering the story of Cars 3. You know what was oddly
He's getting talked to by God. He's getting
Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
I'm getting it. Hold on.
Hold on. Hold on, guys. I'm feeling it. It's coming. No. So what I'm saying is Cars 3 and F1 the movie have oddly similar story arcs. That's all I'm going to say. For those who have seen both, as you're describing Cars 3 and I'm remembering it, I'm like, wait a minute. F1's kind of similar to that. They're a little different, obviously, like they're not the same for those who have seen both, but like they're kind of, it's kind of funny how similar they actually are. But anyway,
We need that. Did they say if it was going to be animated like Disney? No, just original.
No. So the original content they're looking for, they did not like explicitly state, but they did say live action was a point of emphasis.
Okay, so I would arguably say Pirates of the Caribbean level, like boy or man oriented films. Like, and it doesn't mean that it's just like anybody can watch these movies, but like if I had a list of boy movies, it'd be Cars, it'd be Pirates of the Caribbean, it'd be like what's another one? I'm thinking like
Star
Sky
Wars.
High.
I mean
Star Wars.
Yeah.
You remember
Sky High. Where are you coming from?
Let's see. I don't really
great callback though. Great callback.
see a lot of like I just had a list pulled up here of older movies. Like Big Hero 6 is on here, like, but arguably I don't know if that one is either. Like there's The Incredibles is on here, but I still feel like these bridge all the way across
Yeah.
Demographics. But
Do you know? I mean, another thing too. Like again, I think that this will probably not pan out unless they hit gold with a franchise again. Not like not an already established franchise. I mean, if they somehow hit gold with one story that spawns another franchise, is what I mean by that. But going back to their franchises that they have that should be succeeding for them. Of course, Disney would find a way to not make money off of Star Wars, right? But again, Star Wars hasn't come out with a film in 7 years. Generations. Sorry, go ahead. Please go ahead.
Oh, I was reading something that it was strictly talking about how they have alienated that demographic.
Yeah.
And I was like, you could argue both sides to that, but I wouldn't disagree because it's what we've seen.
I want to put it this way.
Things like because it can get political pretty quick, but I would say from the trends, yes, there has been something that alienated several different demographics, and that is why Star Wars hasn't succeeded cinematically.
Yeah.
So continue, Ryan.
Well, I want to say it like this, and specifically emphasizing on why Star Wars might have failed and why they're having this like scrounging around trying to solve the problem that they've created for themselves. I looked up Google, just the first response I got from Google, and we're gonna go off it as if it's true. How often do generations change? Like how often, like how frequently do we say like, okay, from millennials to Gen Z to Gen Alpha and to Gen Beta, right? 15 to 20 years. Somewhere in there, there's a line drawn, and that's why it's super subjective, because if you ask somebody, they will say, Gen Z started at 1994, and we're saying 97, right? Like, people do that.
Actually 97 to 12.
Yeah. 15 to 20 years. Think about, let's say, okay, 2012 is when Gen Alpha started. They were babies when the last trilogy was coming out.
Yeah.
The last movie came out when they were maybe 7. Maybe 7. Right? They will be 14. The oldest Gen Alphas will be 14 when the next Star Wars movie comes out with Starfighter. You know what I'm saying? Like in the thing, let's put it this way.
I think Starfighter's going to do great.
It will do great. No, it will do great. But the point is, like, why has Star Wars not done as well? And it's simply because they haven't put out movies. And the thing is, what do people say about the movies that did come out during their time? They suck.
Well, I mean, yeah. But I feel like the new ones that came out sucked because everybody already knew what it could have been and the greatness of the 6 prior.
No, yes, but like think about it, like
that generation was able to watch and comprehend and know before going into the next, like ours. I would argue half of our generation knows about the 6 prior to Disney's movies. So that's why I think they flopped, is because they waited.
Yeah,
or thought it, but
and there is another end to that like our generation was told the same thing about the prequels, that they suck and we love them, right? And so there could be that too. But it is, I guess, like my point is, it's not shocking that a generation who grew up with a certain like trilogy, they're being told by everyone above them that they're not good, and then you don't see one for double their life. Like, what do you expect from them? Of course, they're not going to turn around and be like, "Oh, I'd love to see more Star Wars." Like, you know what I mean? Like, think and go back to like I guess it could go either way, but that's my take on it.
I'm done.
Okay, I think it's a great move. Like
I have nothing else to say besides I can't wait to watch Mandalorian season 4 on Fortnite.
Yay! And that is the end of this story. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to our the last story in our second segment. We're going to Marvel now. We're staying in the realm of Disney. Yeah. Marvel is leaving the state of Georgia, which has been their main playground for productions in the MCU for 15 or more years, for the UK. They're going to film in the United Kingdom. So as the federal and state governments in the states push to bring film production back, Disney and Marvel issue a stern wake-up call, as after more than a dozen projects over the last decade and a half, as I just said, the bulk of their upcoming slate of films, again, because of cheaper labor costs, because of similar tax incentives, they're leaving for the UK. And it's not just, oh yeah, we're going until things get better. It is a foreseeable future type of thing. They're going over there. Spider-Man's being filmed over there. Fantastic Four was filmed over there. Doomsday is going to be filmed over there. So it's just cheaper. So this change in production location doesn't just make a huge dent in the economy of Georgia or the United States as a whole, but it also signals a troubling trend as more and more productions continue to flee for cheaper alternatives. So as according to Yahoo, which is where this story comes from, quote, other major titles that left the States for overseas locations include Barbie and Wicked in recent years. So a billion-dollar movie, both of them, I think. Wicked also was a billion-dollar movie. Both were filmed overseas. So, and we bring the federal and state governments into this because we have extensively talked about that one specific subject of this administration trying to bring and signing orders to bring productions back into the states. And then the fallout that we have discussed also of California, Georgia, even New York, Texas, all raising the caps on state spending for productions, for tax breaks. And it's not working. It's not working as the MCU puts their foot down and say, no, we're gone. So when looking,
Well,
sorry, go ahead.
arguably because they want to lower production costs because they're failing. I mean, arguably, not Fantastic Four kind of flopped.
It made
So-
money on, if you do traditional production cost, it made money, but the marketing is where it lost money because they spent almost the same amount on production as on marketing, and that's where they're having problems.
So cut production costs rather than marketing,
Yeah.
which is actually surprising nowadays. You usually see the opposite, keep production cost high and cut marketing. As a guy who's in marketing. So I don't know. I think it can be attributed to that Marvel's leaving is just like we can't make money with the high production costs. Arguably, who the heck wants to be in Atlanta to begin with? All I hear about Atlanta is how sucky it is and traffic and
Sorry to
and
all our Atlanta viewers.
yeah, I don't know. Like, please comment something good about Atlanta because I only ever hear negative. But I don't know, Ryan. You know anything about positive about Atlanta?
My only experience, and it's not even my experience, I had a coworker who used to live in Atlanta, and she said when she got to or an old coworker, she said when she got to Kentucky that it took her months to learn how to reuse her traffic signals because in Atlanta you just merge because if you put on your signal, people will speed up to block you.
Dude, that's not a positive. That's
I know
still
that's
a negative.
I literally just said I don't know if it's a positive or maybe I didn't say that, but that's my only experience.
Not.
That's my
It's
only experience. So that's funny you say
definitely
that.
not.
But that is the
No.
only thing I know about Atlanta.
Wow. Sorry, we can move on, but that's just
No, but the point is, going back, this is not just a MCU thing as like we're talking about the MCU because this is the biggest thing that's happening, but it
Yeah.
is the latest in a troubling trend because since 2022, productions in Atlanta has gone down by 59%. And again, according to Yahoo, in the year 2022, Atlanta and the state of Georgia saw 412 projects shot in the state. This fiscal year that just ended in June saw 245,
Ugh.
which is a massive drop.
Yeah.
So again, that's according to Yahoo. You'll have the link. Do the math yourself or do deeper digging if you want. Yahoo Entertainment's pretty reliable. They pulled it from the Wall Street Journal. So the Wall Street Journal was the one who originally broke the story. And so do the rabbit hole, do the digging yourself if you want to. But the thing is, again, we've seen the trend trying to be curbed since early this year. And this goes back years. So this isn't like it's just one thing that's happening with this current administration. It was something that started well before, and it's something that transcends. So the question is, what do we think about the trend, but also how do we curb it? How do we get productions back in the States if that is something that is needing to happen?
Let's see. I have no idea. um, because like I thought what was happening was gonna do it, but I don't know the numbers on the production cost between UK and Georgia. Um, I would say that Atlanta probably didn't make it easy on them, but they can't tell, I guess, the stories they want to. Marvel in general needs the big city in peril level
Mm-hmm.
for storytelling. You don't have near as much, what is it, stake when you're saving a small town in Kentucky or something,
Yeah.
I guess. Even like Spider-Man, street level Spider-Man still has to save thousands of people within the Bronx or in
Yeah.
New York. Hell's Kitchen only really works, like Daredevil only really works in Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know how you say it. I thought that it was going to work. That what they were doing, raising caps and subsidies and tax breaks and all
Yeah.
that, but it appears not. Well, especially over the last 3 years, we've dropped 59%. So
An interesting note to talk about too is that it might take a minute for the caps or the raised in spending in state to actually take effect because like it's not like you could just flip a switch and these things be changed, right?
Do you think these are reactionary because they heard Marvel was not Marvel, but like Marvel and others included were leaving or saw the downtrend by 2023. Like, oh wow, we dropped 50 projects. That's a lot of projects to be
Yeah.
losing, and they just kept dropping. And then they're like, well, we have to do something. And this is a reactionary that we all know that government works so darn slow
Yeah, yeah.
that this is now it's not too little too late, but it's definitely too late.
Yeah, I think it is probably something in that realm of like this didn't happen soon enough to keep them here. But the thing is again, it will take time, and we've already seen from things I have read, like we've seen productions, like not the big ones come back, but there's a number of more because when you have money to throw, you're going to throw it, and states have that now, and so they're bringing more in. So again, I think it's going to be a slow curve because it's a slow reaction. But I don't know. I think it boils down to, and it's a weird economy with films, because just because you filmed overseas doesn't mean that when we export the finished product we're not making money. So if you remember when this current administration put the order out to say bring them back, right? The big pushback was we're actually leading the world in money made from exports in films regardless of where they're filmed. So it's some ridiculous number. I can't, it's in the billions. I can't remember off the top of my head. But not just that, but in terms of also like providing jobs for people. That's where the big crux comes from is like when you're filming overseas, you're going to hire workers from overseas to be like your PAs and to be your gaffers and your grips and all that stuff, right? Like you're not going to hire someone from, again, you're using the example of Kentucky. You're not going to hire some PA from Kentucky, pay for their plane ticket, pay for their way, pay for their food, pay for their living expenses, when you could just hire somebody who lives nearby. So that's like the big thing is when like a small economy is built when you have a production like that over the course of 6 months in one location. And so that's where the crux of it comes from is, oh yeah, we're making a ton of money, but there could be a lot more money made if we filmed it here. And so there's a lot of give and take, but I think to your point, the crux of the issue is that it was a slow reaction, so it's a slow turnaround. It's just going to take time and the other thing too, I think the bigger thing is at labor costs. It wasn't so much tax incentives or tax breaks because Georgia and the UK have similar tax breaks. So it wasn't that. It was labor costs that mainly, so union workers. I don't know how it works overseas, but I can only imagine that IATSE
I
and
thought they got more breaks. I actively, maybe in France or in other countries, I know that they actually get like several hours in the afternoon, and they go home or they go shopping or they take naps, and then they come back to work and they work till like 6. Like they leave at 2 and then come back at 4 and then work till 6 and then go home again.
yeah.
Like actively having these crazy long breaks, and I don't know, like, and that's just me spouting off what I've seen on TikTok and
Yeah.
one creator's life at their particular company in their particular job, not necessarily a generalization across all France. Like I'm sure there's several different lifestyles and times that people work, but I feel like they're a lot more lenient on, I guess, breaks, and like whereas we feel like we work from 8 to 5 and only get an hour.
Yeah,
I feel like they get a lot more.
it's from what I understand, a lot of countries over in the EU and over in Europe and farther on, they're like, it's more of a federal guideline for breaks and you get more. So it's not like a company, like here in the States, obviously, like you get company mandated and issued like vacation.
Forced to, otherwise
Yeah,
they'd make you
lose
work
it.
the whole time.
Yeah, yeah. And so it's like that's different over there. But my big question is it cheaper to live in the UK? Like, because the thing is, if labor cost is down, is it because it's cheaper to live there so they don't have to pay them as much? So like a dollar or a euro goes farther. You know, like that's my question is like, is that why? Or is it just because like labor laws are just so different that they don't have, like, these are just things I'm ignorant of and I don't know. But I think you hit the nail on the head earlier. I think it was a slow reaction. So, and it didn't have to be a federal government thing, but it became one. So it was a slow reaction from entertainment and from state governments as a whole because they didn't try to curb it, right? And then they left, and then there are just information that I'm unaware of about. And you were right about France. I mean, and it's just the difference in living, and that might just make it easier for bigger productions, because when you're not making money like Marvel is, and that's the other thing too. Marvel's leaving because they're not making the cash anymore, and they want to start making money. But yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of complicated like dynamics that you could really run down to see why, but if you want productions back in the States, this is a big problem. Anything else, Jake, before we move on to our third segment?
They're allergic to money, man.
Disney, their money
All
allergy.
All of them, they're allergic, man. They want to make it, but they don't know how.
Yeah. And on that note, we will end our second segment. So, coming up after the break, David Ellison and Paramount continue to make waves, recent trailers, and what you should know before you go. Coming up next. Hello and welcome back to Beyond the Screen. You've made it to segment 3, which is the finale of our major news headlines, and we run through recent trailers, talk about what we're excited to see coming up next, and then the quick news that might not have deserved like a full rundown and a deep dive conversation, but some stuff that was still important that you should know, and we'll go back and talk about the ones that were most interesting to us. So we run through about 5 to 7 of them. But as always, if you've made it to this point, I always give thanks because, again, you've made it an hour. And it's crazy that you allow us to sit and chit chat about something we are so passionate about every week. And so we thank you. We're coming up on a year of Beyond the Screen in this iteration. I don't know, and I'll get more sappy about it when we get to a year, but this is the third attempt for me. I have tried to make this show a thing for 3 different times over 4 years. So it's exciting that we're here, and I'm thankful for all of you guys, including you, Emily, and Jake. So, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Oh, that's not true, and we'll talk about that like a couple months from now. But thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. If you like what you hear, this has been an unhinged but fun episode because we've just absolutely gone off on tangents, and we had a lot of really interesting conversation, and more to come in the next segment. But if you like what you hear and you want to hear more, like, subscribe, follow, regardless of platform that you're on. If you're on YouTube or Spotify, you can watch us so you can see our lovely faces and Emily's lovely face. And again, just share. That's the big thing. Share. Tell people about it. Comment. Get in the conversation. We would absolutely love to add a segment where we get audience reactions and discuss things you want to hear. So on that note, thank you so much. And we're going to go ahead and get you out of here after segment 3. So hopping into it. Legendary Entertainment, the production house behind Dune and a Minecraft movie, in talks with New Look Paramount for global distribution rights. You heard it. Legendary Entertainment, you might not have heard about them a lot, but they are the house, again, behind some fairly large movies that have come out this year or in the years prior. So, according to Deadline, details are still being fleshed out, but it is expected that Paramount will get a streaming and transactional window behind a major producer in the world of cinema today. Again, sticking with the Deadline source, there's conversations that Paramount may co-finance some feature Legendary projects, and that's dependent on the content. They won't commit to every, but there are some things that if they feel like, as a company, that Paramount's like, oh, that aligns with our vision and we know it will succeed, we will co-finance, which is a big deal for a major production house like Legendary who's trying to do bigger and bigger things. With new owner David Ellison looking to revitalize a nearly dead brand in Paramount, and co-film head Josh Greenstein looking to up film production to 15 releases yearly, then to 20 down the line, having one of the best production houses in the game to date under your umbrella does help out a lot. So, going back to Legendary, they don't currently have a theatrical deal with anyone in particular at this moment. They have, as of recently, worked with Sony and Warner Brothers, of which the latter holds the rights to Legendary's MonsterVerse and Dune franchises, which is why if you go to watch them now, you'll find them on HBO Max, or if you go to the theaters, you'll see the Warner Brothers tag with Legendary, because technically Warner Brothers owns the distribution rights to those franchises, but Legendary is the actual meat and potatoes behind the making of the film. So, Deadline expresses that even with this new deal, that doesn't mean that Legendary is done with former business partner Warner Brothers in the slightest, stating, quote, sources say there will be more features announced between the two, again, Legendary and Warner Brothers, and that includes more MonsterVerse and Dune. What's interesting is we've seen this a lot from Ellison in recent weeks, bringing in creators or production houses with unbreakable ties to competitors. So last week, they swayed the Duffer Brothers to jump ship with 4 years of theatrical releases promised, but the duo will continue to develop already promised content for Netflix, specifically Stranger Things. So now Legendary's looking to jump ship, but they're still going to be tied to Warner Brothers, which is, again, interesting tactics. I don't know if this is a normal thing in this business, but that just seems odd. So, Jake, what do we think of Paramount's deals? I'm calling them deals with the devil, right? Or the devils, if you will. They're bringing on these big name creators, Legendary, the Duffer Brothers, things like people and companies that people will gravitate towards when their name's attached to a project, but they're not breaking ties. They can't break ties with other companies.
I think we've talked about Duffer Brothers, and I think that's a shot in the dark or a gamble with them, just because we haven't had theatrical releases from them. But what do I think? I just think Paramount's trying really hard to hold on, I guess. I really don't know if they're that right. Like, I think they're dying, like you had said. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot to say on Paramount besides I'm just going to be reiterating what I said last week. Other than, so Legendary, big deal, trying to hold, but it just seems like one of those. Yeah, we have it in our pocket. Hopefully they'll, pocket sand be used. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But with both, yeah. So it's very odd. Like, I don't know. I'm drawing a blank here. I'm sorry, Ryan.
No, it's okay. And I'm going through, I promise I'm listening, but I'm also going through because I want to express how big Legendary is as a company. So Jurassic World, Godzilla, again, Monsterverse, Dune, I'm seeing Texas Chainsaw Massacre in their catalog, Detective Pikachu, which was big a few years ago, Mamma Mia is on here.
Crazy callback.
Great, yeah. Pacific Rim. I'm seeing now there's another crazy callback, but Straight Outta Compton is on here. Steve Jobs' film, Interstellar. It's going As Above, So Below, which is a fun horror film. The Man of Steel. As I go 42 with Cedric Boseman, the Hangover series, The Dark Knight Rises. As you go down these films that they have helped produce, this is that company. And so you're talking about bringing them in any essence, right? They're not going to pull over Dune. They're not going to pull over the Monsterverse because Warner Brothers owns that. However, this is a company that a lot of people recognize, even if not in name and distribution. They will know their films when they see them. So to come out with new content, again, you pull them in and you're saying, we want to get to 15 or 20 films a year. Make something. You do the same thing with the Duffers, right? You're like, we will help you make it. We'll distribute it.
And there were talks with Legendary to acquire Lionsgate.
Yeah, which is a whole other can of worms.
People are saying is so what happened to that?
Yeah.
So which wouldn't be a bad idea for Paramount either if they. Where is Paramount getting the money?
Well, you want to know where? Do you want the honest answer?
Where is it at?
David Ellison, who's now the owner, his dad is the second wealthiest man in the world.
Well, that helps.
Yeah. Larry Ellison is the owner of Oracle.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's where that money's coming from. And that's why Paramount will more than likely not sink for his lifetime. But when you want to make a film franchise succeed, you have to release regularly. Your legacy franchises have to succeed, and you have to be coming out with good new content. And we talked last week again, in the recent weeks, we talked about how not World War Z, but Transformers and G.I. Joe and so on.
I don't think Transformers that big.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I disagree. And all these film franchises, right? No, I disagree. But no, all these franchises, you need to have them succeed. But also, the shot in the dark comes in the form of, we need a shot in the arm with original content. Let's bring in Stranger Things creators. Let's bring in Legendary, and let's just pray, because that's all you can do.
I can give you a stick shift car, but unless you know how to drive it, man, you ain't getting that far, man. Well, I mean, you can try.
Yeah, David Ellison has a history. He's been in the film business for a while, but he's not just in the business all of a sudden and just wanted it.
No, But I just say this because like you can acquire as many houses as you want until it's time to make something. And if none of these deliver because they're under new management or somebody's up the top making decisions that doesn't know what they're doing, then so what? Daddy gonna have to bail you out again.
Yeah, and so to go back to Lionsgate, I had read the film catalog from Legendary. Lionsgate, they're about to put out the Long Walk.
Yep.
They also are about to put out Now You See Me, but they also have done the John Wick franchise. So
Yep. That's why everybody was like geeking out for the Legendary acquisition of Lionsgate.
Yeah.
Hoping that something would happen, and then we don't know. Now we don't know.
Hunger
It's
Games,
likely
Twilight
still on the table, but yeah, Lionsgate's no slouch. Who did Pacific Rim? Somebody
that was
somebody commented
Legendary.
on
Legendary.
Okay. Yeah, they wanted to do this anonymous comment on that Deadline article says make Pacific Rim 2 with GDT. I don't know who GDT is. Who's that?
Guillermo del Toro.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. That's he directed the original.
You want male 20 something audience giant robot fight.
Yeah, now you're speaking my language.
Disney, write that down. Write that down.
Buy Lionsgate, Disney. Do it. No, don't do it, please. Actually, please don't. Please don't.
Oh, don't ruin it.
Yeah. No. Anyway, no. I find it interesting. I really, to go back to the question at hand, I think they're throwing shots at, like, again, just something at the dark to say, okay, who are the people that are looking for distribution houses?
Playing darts in the dark.
I didn't say that, but that is a funny
No,
image.
I know, but that I feel like they're just tossing something, see if it hits.
Well, when you have the money and you can acquire these things, you do it, because Legendary comes out with great stuff. If they buy Lionsgate, you have that extra hand on. Another franchise was Saw that Lionsgate owns. I didn't say anything about Saw. So, and you get the James Wan, because James Wan is big in Lionsgate and he's a horror producer. He's the Conjuring creator. So
at what point do eyebrows get raised that they're just acquiring a bunch of businesses?
So I guess this is something I should clarify. When I say acquiring, they're making a deal with, they're not buying. So Legendary is acquiring Lionsgate, or talking about buying Lionsgate, but Paramount would make a deal to distribute Legendary films. So that is a distinction to make, because we did talk about both, but in the Duffer Brothers too. That's a deal that Paramount has made. But yeah, those are two completely different things. But that is a great point to clarify, is that Paramount is not buying Legendary. Legendary is signing a theatrical release window and streaming. Yeah.
Still though, if I'm another business or another streamer, Warner Brothers or Disney, I'm like, dang, they're getting a lot of contracts going here and making my thing look lesser than.
Yeah,
I'm not paying for Paramount, and until that changes,
these are fun. These are interesting moves, and it's. I mean, he's not trying to hide what he's doing, and I think that you know, great for him. But this is interesting. Any final thoughts on Paramount's latest endeavor?
I have none.
All right, and on that note, we're going to end. That's all our major news. So we're going to hop into our next little bit of fun, and it is trailers. Every week we come out, we take stock of the major trailers that have come out this past week, and we give them to you, and we talk about them. So we're going to go over Anemone with Daniel Day-Lewis, Arco, Fallout Season 2, and The Roses, which we talked a lot about earlier, and we'll get into in depth here. So first, we're going to start with Anemone.
Why did he leave us? The army teaches you to grin and bear it. The war with crime. And we were the phantom soldiers.
Ray never spoke to me about what happened over there.
I can't help you. Till he's telling me what happened. Is that a question?
What do you want from me, brother? What do you want?
What's he want, dude?
That's the question. Go see it to find out. No.
Daniel
Yeah.
Lewis.
And that's Sean Bean, isn't it? That he's across.
I wonder if he's abandoned his child.
I've abandoned my boy.
He did. It seems to be a common reoccurrence here. He did, in fact, abandon his child.
Speaking of abandoning his boy, and there's no abandonment, but it is his boy. His son, Ronan Day-Lewis, is the director of this film.
Ah,
Yeah, which is
Ah.
why he came out of retirement to act in it.
well, he looks. I believe this is like a commentary on like PTSD, and I believe that's what this movie is. But it seems like it's a psychological. I don't know if it's a thriller, but it's a psychological drama. Is that a subcategory?
Yeah, I think that's probably what it is. I know it's deep in family lore, and the thing is, it seems like there's a lot of history with. I mean, the Irish lore and like
Yeah,
history is crazy.
The war of
Yeah.
So
It's fun history to not that they had fun, but it is fun history to read about. No, it's interesting.
if I had the time, like I would want to read up on it because I think it's interesting in the fact that like Cillian Murphy does not like Great Britain, I believe. Is that right?
No, he's no.
Or British people in general. Like I just think it's not funny, but like I just want to know, it's the war and all the drama there, but like
Yeah.
it's a very interesting concept. But like on the topic of movies, like this is what this film is likely about. Is that wrong?
It's about the family history. So obviously, like the brothers, and the only reason I talk about for our audio listeners why I talked about like not only could you hear their accents, they were very Irish, but there was like imagery of like Irish soldiers with like the flags, and so there's some deep family trauma, and it's a drama. It's definitely some psychological elements in that, but it does seem interesting. It seems very like gritty. It's got a very
It's like a commentary on. So it says fathers, sons, and brothers. Like this is very commentative on male relationships within families and how each plays a role. So a father and a son and a brother all play a different role in this story. So I don't know. I think it is also a commentary on mental health.
Yeah.
I would argue.
That's an interesting point because like the whole like the family dynamics and familial expectations, and I don't know the time frame of this, but it could be touching on that. And something else, again, it's directed by a son whose star is the father, right? So that's another interesting point to talk about. I wonder how much
Both wrote it.
Yeah, they wrote it together. So I bet there's a lot of deep like this feels very personal. Not just because the characters are familial, but this feels like maybe something very connected to the Day-Lewis family.
Here, I have maybe I don't. Sorry, I lied. Oh, there was a photo that I wanted to show everybody, but I can't get my hands on it.
Oh no, it's okay.
Apologies, everybody. Indian gave you a. That's what they say.
That's
a term.
Yeah. No, I find this interesting. It's something else to note too before we move on from this trailer. I forgot that Sean Bean was just Eddard Stark, my poor boy.
Yeah.
I
have the photo now. It's Daniel Day-Lewis and Sean Bean on a scooter or motorcycle.
Oh.
Can we show it?
Do we have it?
Yeah, it's in the. I'm sharing an image.
Hold on.
See it.
See if it's loading up.
For our video people. No,
but either way, I'm excited for this. Sean and Daniel Day-Lewis are absolutely fantastic, and I'm excited to see what they can pop out with. And this seems like an interesting story. So following that, our next trailer is for the second season of Fallout at Amazon Prime.
Oh.
Like yourself, I am the very best at what I do. And what I do is I know everything. I know there's a war coming. The bombs will only be the beginning. My concern is that you would do just about anything to save your family. I think you are actually quite a violent man. You just don't want to kill me yet.
Oh, Gary,
I have a confession.
you don't know anything about Fallout.
I've not finished the first season, no.
Well, a lot of those characters are from the from the video games. They are told like movies. I remember them like movies, but
yeah.
from the video games, and so a lot of these characters are shown in Fallout New Vegas. So you've got that big screen there, the big green screen or whatever, and the guy who's talking to, I forget the actor's name now.
Walton Goggins.
Walton Goggins. So that's pre-war.
Yes.
Post-war, he is actually like an uploaded intelligence, an AI level. So he uploads himself. Sorry for spoilers, everybody, but like that is who the character is in the video games. It doesn't spoil anything. That's like who he is in the video game.
Who knows what's going to happen in the series? So I mean,
no idea. But
Yeah.
because they're showing him pre-war, it's likely setting it up to meet him post-war in live action. Secondarily, you've got Caesar's Legion, who is those guys who look like Spartans.
yeah.
That is another, like Caesar is some guy who's named himself after the is it Roman?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's another like key character in Fallout New Vegas and the story arcs that like the different. It is a turn-based video game for those who don't know what Fallout is, and like Caesar's Legion is one way that you can like partner with them to complete the main storyline. It's usually how Fallout games work. Same with Skyrim. Like you can choose different factions to align with to complete the same story, and it will end differently depending on the faction that you chose.
Yeah.
And so generally, people on their first playthrough will align with whomever they think is right in terms of whatever argument it is, or so I'm not sure because I haven't played Fallout New Vegas in a long time, and I don't even think I got through it all, which is unfortunate. But I do know who all of these characters are.
I'm intrigued. This is a slight because this might cater the way the story goes, and so I did watch. I don't remember how many episodes. I think there were 7 or 8 episodes of the first season, and I watched 3 or 4 of them. So I just didn't finish it. Which not to say it wasn't great. I just fell out of it and then just didn't pick it back up. Something that I have a question about, and again, this could influence. So you referenced Skyrim, and that Fallout and Skyrim are made by Bethesda Games, so that's why they're similar.
Which is now owned by Microsoft, and
yeah. So Skyrim, you described.
And sorry, they just came out with the space game,
Starfield.
Starfield.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So and we're talking a lot about video games, but because obviously this is a video game adaptation, and this could influence where the story goes. So, in Skyrim, the 2 factions are the Empire and the Stormcloaks, and most people go Stormcloaks, right? Like that's common knowledge. Like most people go Stormcloaks. Is that a similar like experience in Fallout that most people go one way? And if so, which way is that? Because that could influence the game or the series.
So Skyrim is a buy, or meaning 2 different ones that you can go with, and those are the larger ones that you can go with. There are some, like the Blades, which are like dragon hunters, that you can go with to kind of somewhat finish it, but you still have to choose between those 2. With Fallout, I would argue that there's more than 2, oftentimes 3 or 4. In Fallout 4, I believe you could side with the Brotherhood of Steel, which we saw they're the ones with the blimp. And all the
armor.
The armor. So we've already seen the Brotherhood of Steel. That's where our secondary protagonist aligns with
Maximus.
So Maximus.
Yep.
Yeah. So
I didn't just remember that. I have it pulled up.
You're good. You're good. So Brotherhood of Steel, the railroad is a big one in Fallout 4. So they're an underground actual robot or synthetics. They call them synths in Fallout 4, and that's like the big deal in that video game is where are they coming from? Um, so the Railroad is sympathetic with them. The Brotherhood does not like synth
Mm.
people, the robots. I mean, to them, they are the clanker
Yeah.
faction. Like
Yeah.
they they don't like robots. You can actually side with the Institute, which is the ones creating the synthetic robots
Mm.
who look like real people, and they're replacing real people with these synths, which is why it's a bad thing for the in the Brotherhood's minds. And then the Minutemen, you can side with the Minutemen, which are like your street level Spider-Man kind of faction where
Yeah.
you're helping people, and you see the replacement of people as a bad thing.
Mm.
Not so much that synths are bad, not so much that the Institute is good. They are actively killing and replacing people, or not killing. We don't even know where people are going,
Yeah.
likely being killed or brought into the Institute. And so to the Minutemen, Institute's bad. Most of them, all of them think the Institute needs to go,
Yeah.
either because they're infringing on synth rights, which is the Railroad, harming settlements, which is the Minutemen, or to the Brotherhood, just straight up robots are bad.
Yeah.
Um, and it's also a level of control. Like the Brotherhood is a military force kind of
Yeah.
deals. But to bring this all back to a live action TV series of Fallout 2, I don't know all the factions for Fallout New Vegas to tell you that there will be more than what we saw in the trailer. I forget his name now. So you have Caesar's Legion, which is also the military force that we'll see. You've got the Brotherhood of Steel. It seems like that there's also there
Mm.
um, doing something in New Vegas.
Yeah.
And then I think it's like New Vegas. So Caesar and his legion are actually the primary antagonists of this, which you can side with.
Hmm.
Then there's like don't know, Mr. House. Mr. House, I believe, is who we actually saw live action, not as a computer, but in the video games, it's just a photo of his head with like text underneath, and he's talking through that giant green monitor. And so his name is Mr. House, and he kind of looks like Howard Stark, which he did in the
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
trailer. But he's like a supercomputer. He wants you to get like a super chip or something, and I think the whole story goes around like there's rockets, missiles, uh, that somebody has control of to blow something up,
Hmm.
and see to blow this thing up, and Mr. House wants to blow this up, or you can blow up it yourself, or I don't know. Like that's the story there.
Mm.
The main quest line is to either overthrow Caesar, become the leader of the Legion, or side with Caesar and help him, or the chaotic uh, evil
Mm.
versus neutral good, or the whole spectrum. That's what Fallout generally does, is give you so many different options.
Interesting. Yeah.
So I've gone on a rant about Fallout here, but it's because this season 2 seems to have leaned into a lot of the characters, and people were like, "Oh my God, we're going to New Vegas! We're going to New Vegas!"
Yeah.
Like 'cause
Yeah.
this video game it arguably is bigger than Fallout 3 and 4. New Vegas was
Yeah.
the biggest deal when it came out, and it still is. People still replay this game.
Yeah, I remember when they saw. Now, I did not grow up on Fallout. I grew up. I played a lot of Skyrim, but I was a sports nut, so a lot of 2K and Madden. But I also played a lot of other video games. But like in my teenage years, going off that tangent, Ella Purnell, who plays Lucy, who's our main protagonist in the series, she like launched and like was like, yeah, this is what the story's gonna follow. When she showed a picture of her playing New Vegas for homework. And
Yeah.
the internet blew up. They were like, "Oh my God, New Vegas!" And so, seeing Mr. House and that's it. I'm intrigued because there are so many different elements. And no, I'm happy you went on your tangent because you answered my question, and I'm sure the question of a lot of other people who are not as familiar with Fallout like myself. It's like, which one, again, if they ever did, like, I hope they don't, but if they ever do like a Skyrim live action, they're probably going to follow the Stormcloaks. And sorry for spoilers for a game that's almost 20 years old, but like Ulfric Stormcloak is going to betray regardless of which side you pick, right? And so it's like, that's like a big,
Well, they could do the story leading up to Skyrim, arguably.
yeah, no, yes, of course. But like the point, you know what I'm saying though? The point is that like in Skyrim, like you have your major beats and those are going to happen either way, but you really only have a few options. Like, yes, the blades are a thing, which fun fact, I never actually played a run through where I did the blades. I might have to go back. I forgot about them.
They're like samurai hunting
Giants, right? Yeah.
or dragons. Well, no, I guess they're samurai who hunt dragons, not samurai
Well,
hunting
don't you
dragons.
see them at first when, like, at the very beginning of the game when they're like killing a giant? Like, I know that. Like, you could choose to help them, and they call you a coward if you don't. And
I don't. It's one of those that like Cyberpunk tried to say that they were one of the first of like random encounters. And it's like,
no,
Skyrim pretty
no,
much does it just
yeah.
randomly.
In
right off the
fact,
get.
you are copying Skyrim by doing that, and yeah, you're not the first. But anyway, I love. I'm actually playing Cyberpunk right now, and I love Cyberpunk. So no shame to Cyberpunk, but that's not true. Anyway,
Yeah.
the point is, you answered my question because I was wondering if they did a Skyrim series, you would know roughly the beats because most people pick the Stormcloaks because the Empire seems like the Empire, and you're like, I don't want to side with them. So you go with what?
But there's a level of patriotism
Yeah.
that kind of hits in the hearts of, at the very least, Americans.
Yeah.
That's why majority choose the Stormcloaks.
And so
Even
that's
though some
interesting.
say that it might be a little racist, which they are.
Yeah,
Which they are.
yeah, no, they are. But the point is, the reason why I'm saying like that you did answer the question is because there's so many different avenues, and the way that Fallout seems to work is it is whatever you want to do. There's so many different options. It literally is tailored to you because you make the decision. So it's not like a Skyrim where yes, you're making the same decisions, but there's so few, and comparatively, there's so few options. So Fallout could literally go wherever, which is fun because it's going to be original regardless of how they follow it.
Because it takes place before Fallout New Vegas happens.
Yeah.
Because like no, this isn't spoilers because there's so many different endings, but because we see both Mr. House and Caesar and his legion, that means they're not wiped off the face of the earth, which you can do for any faction in the Fallout universe. You can just, so many different stories that, and by the way, 20+ year old game here, or close to. It's not when I say that because we see Mr. House and Caesar's Legion, that's because we're beforehand.
Yeah.
If you told something afterward, it would mean that somebody at some point chose that storyline, which is kind of hard to do for video games like this when you're doing. You can't really start after the video game if it's a turn-based video game.
Yeah.
Tell the story leading up to it, or characters who pass by during.
Yeah.
So that's just a whole rant after watching a trailer, folks.
Yeah,
we're doing our trailers right now.
It is so deep. There's so much they could do that it warranted that type of conversation. And I think that's a great point to go ahead and hop off of Fallout 2 and go into our third trailer, Arco.
Oh, a whole lot of stuff going on everywhere. Rainbow guy.
You know what? That art was very, very close to common side effects.
Now, have you seen like I'm gonna agree with you, yes, but arguably there's another one that it matches even more. That now, of course, escapes me. Planet TV series, super quick, animated. It's none of these. Oh my gosh, all the buzzwords that I could possibly ever type. It doesn't bring up what I want. Gosh.
They're not quite. They're more apples to oranges, but they are very similar.
Scavenger's Reign. If anybody out there knows about Scavenger's Reign, it's crazy good.
Oh wow.
Synopsis,
Yeah.
created by. The series follows the survivors of the damaged interstellar cargo ship Demeter 227. They're stranded on Vesta, which is an alien planet bustling with flora, fauna, but filled with dangers. Initially, the survivors are separated into 3 groups. It's just local life displays unusual complexity, symbiotic levels, and extraordinary life cycles. And like plants, animals, like they all intelligently interact with each other as if the planet controls them. And
Mm.
these survivors have to get off of the planet. But like to go back to Arco, it's very similar in that art style. So, which I don't think any of the same people are attached. This was a HBO that got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's been out for
2
a while,
years. Yeah.
2 years. So
Scavenger's Reign is what we're talking about.
Scavenger's Reign right now. So going back to Arco, that's what it reminds me of. Whereas you think it's, I just forgot what you
Common side effects.
said. Common side. I want to call it the mushroom or something like
That
because it's
way.
out, it's mushrooms.
You'd be
But
right.
I don't know what this one's about besides like very futuristic. That I don't think a lot of it was shown besides like the robots. And so in the full trailer, which I suggest you guys go watch, the robots are like helping hands and helping when she finds this superhero rainbow boy or man, I'm not sure, rainbow, and trying to like nurse him back to health. So these robots are actively helping, but at some point they do change and they chase them through. These are not VR like, but more like AR level rooms.
Yeah.
That they're all fake. Like the dinosaurs aren't actually a thing, but these are like simulated reality rooms that these robots are chasing them through. So it's going to be insane visuals, and animation. I mean, this is going to be crazy just in terms of art.
Yeah.
But the story is just I just don't know, and that's why this trailer was really good. Is that it somewhat tells you the whole movie if you watch the full thing, and it's like, okay, this is like the base, but like who's the rainbow guy? What's the significance of this girl?
Yeah.
And why do the robots not like them?
Yeah. So
I still have those questions, and they didn't give up much of it.
yeah, I have the IMDb synopsis here, which I think will shed light on not anything that would give away the true story in terms of like what you're asking, but would give like the rainbow boy you keep calling him. There's a reason he looks like that, and it's an interesting concept. But actors that we have in this film: Will Ferrell, America Ferrera, Natalie Portman. So they're attached.
Oh, Natalie Portman on there, yeah.
Yeah. So the IMDb synopsis of Arco is, and it's an hour and 22 minutes, so it's a very quick watch, is, quote, what if rainbows were actually time travelers flying across the sky? On his first flight home through time, Arco, and it says in parentheses 10. So I don't know, does Arco mean, it says Arco 10, crash lands from the year 3000 into our near future. His fall is witnessed by a little girl whose name is Iris, who helps him return home.
Interesting.
And it's November release.
And Natalie, oh, so this is a French.
Isn't it a dub? Isn't it?
And it's dubbed English. Like the English cast is Natalie Portman, Will Ferrell, America Ferrera, Flea. Flea is in this, by the way.
The drummer from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, Mark Ruffalo and Andy Samberg. But that's
or
the
no,
English
not the
cast, so
drummer.
this
I'm so
is-
dumb. Not the drummer. It's the guitarist. I'm dumb.
Come on, dude. Don't you
Sorry,
know who-
sorry,
No,
sorry.
I'm kidding. I did not know the band, and I was just going off of Ryan. Never trust anything I say or what Ryan says.
Or me.
We're actually, this entire podcast up until this point was misinformation. None of everything we said is true.
Thank God we are not a music podcast of any sort. Credibility is gone after that. No, Flea is not the drummer. I don't know why I said drummer. He's the guitarist.
But and this is a movie. Sorry.
Yes. He is. He's a
Arco
voice
is
actor.
10 years old, is what I'm seeing on the Wikipedia.
It says 10.
10 years old.
Crazy.
10-year-old Arco who lives in the year 2932. uses a rainbow to accidentally time travel to the year 2075.
I don't understand why they didn't just call him a 10-year-old on IMDb, because it literally says Arco parentheses 10 crash lands. Like, what's that mean?
Ryan parentheses 40.
No, no, these people are gonna think I'm actually 40.
Good, bro. You can't be lying to anybody now.
Okay, all right. We got one more trailer for you guys, and it's for the aforementioned on today's episode called The Roses.
I suppose sometimes I do hate you. Ah, sporadic hatred.
It's infused with tarragon. It adds a bit of bitterness.
Ivy likes to leave a little bit of herself in everything she does.
Things are getting a little out of hand.
Oh, you think?
I don't think you have the capacity to fix your problems.
Are you actually allowed to say that?
That seems unprofessional.
Yes, like malpractice.
Ah, we'll be expecting a hefty discount.
It seems cute. It's one of those ones that I know my mom's gonna like a lot. But it is like, Ryan, what do you have to say? Sorry.
No, please go, please.
So I believe the wife becomes like hugely successful with her restaurant called We Got Crabs, which is a crab restaurant or like a seafood restaurant. And Benedict Cumberbatch's character, who I don't know either of their names in the movie, but he's like, I think, an architect or a somewhat famous architect that then like has lost his job or is had to become a stay-at-home dad, and where she gets to live the life of a famous restaurant owner, going to New York and all that. And that kind of drives a wedge in their marriage, basically. And that's what this movie is about, is their imminent demise and the spiral that they have. And there's one scene in the trailer, suggest you guys go watch it, where like they're doing the whole divorce conversation meeting with the lawyers, and it's like, all I want is the house because I built it. And
Yeah.
they're like, you're not getting the house, you're not getting nothing.
Yeah.
So, but yes, I think it's just going to be one of those fun like rom-com level. I don't even know if they make it out together, but likely not.
It just looks fun. Like it's like not like Toxic Avenger, but it's in the same breath of like, it just looks fun. Like
I think it's a different type of fun.
Yeah, for sure. But like, it's like, yes, it will hit with older demographics for sure. But like, I think this will be fun. And there's a lot of actors in here that I have like a lot of like emotional connection to. So like, obviously Benedict Cumberbatch, Olivia Colman is one of the most underrated in this country actresses in the world. I mean, like, not just this country, but the world, because she, like, outside of the UK, I don't think her name is very well known. She is awesome. She's in, watch Broadchurch. Go watch Broadchurch, because her performance in that, I think she won a bunch of BAFTAs for it, as she should have, because she killed it. And so seeing her a lot, like, next to Benedict Cumberbatch is like, it's awesome. Like, that is a, talk about a power couple as like a joke for the movie. Like, that is, I am so excited to watch those two bounce off each other, because they're both just, they can work with anybody. But going down, like Kate McKinnon and Andy Samberg are also in it, and they're like not the neighbors, but like they're like family friends, and they those two are hilarious in their own right. But Ncuti Gatwa, who was just in Doctor Who, he just left that show as the Doctor. He's a
How
side.
you know that, Ryan?
Huh? Yeah. Shaka, I know that.
Kidding.
Yeah, but no, he's a side character. His name is Jeffrey. He works at Olivia Colman's, who's named Ivy, her restaurant. And so like they had like in the full trailer, they have a funny back and forth. It just looks, it feels like real. It feels like something that could actually happen. I know that they get into some absurdities, but like if you're built on competition, right? Like your whole, because like they're in their 40s, maybe. I don't think like these characters are supposed to be in their 50s, but like they're like closer to middle age, maybe early 40s at the earliest, right? So it's like your whole married life has been like, oh yeah, we're both successful, we're both successful, we're both successful, and then all of a sudden, if one of you falter, that jealousy, if your whole life and on top of the competition had been that, yeah, like that would drive a wedge between people. And so
Which I don't. I don't know if she was successful the whole time. I
no,
feel
I
like
don't
the
know about
the
that.
restaurant took off. I that's what I got from the full trailer. Like I said, go watch it. Let us know what you think in the comments. But I got the impression that the restaurant took off. She began to get a bunch of opportunities,
Mm.
and then he was fired.
Yeah, and I mean that could be
In-
the case
at
too.
the
Yeah.
same time. And so I thought it was more of a I'm actually attributed to like Incredibles 2 and how
Yeah.
uh that now Mr. Incredible has to stay home and deal with all the kids and she gets to go and live the superhero life like Mr. Incredible did in the first movie. So I think this shines light in the same sense on the same it's not controversy but like brings up the same talking points of
Yeah.
the stay-at-home mom and or the stay-at-home dad, like how hard it is to do those things.
Yeah.
um and then when one of them chases their dream and the other one falters, and how that is like detrimental to a relationship.
Yeah, and that's gonna make for such an interesting watch on top of like these funny moments. So like I have the
Yeah.
IMDb pulled up and it's playing the full trailer, and Andy Samberg seems to be Benedict Cumberbatch's divorce lawyer. And
Yeah.
so that seems like that'll be a fun little dynamic. But also like there are moments where like Olivia Colman throws two crabs in Benedict Cumberbatch's like bath as he's bathing with headphones
Yeah.
in. And there's another scene where Olivia Colman's running after Benedict Cumberbatch with a gun, and he
Yeah.
like pelts her in the face with an orange. And it's just like things like that are just like I don't know why it's just so. It does seem kind of like cutesy, but it all and like maybe there's not much wholesome at the end, but it just seems like lighthearted fun, but also really rooted in real. Like that's why I mean a lot of people will bash Incredibles 2, but that's why Incredibles 2 works is because it's like situations like that happen. And so I like that. I like that this is a lot more based in reality. I like the whole cast seems phenomenal. And it just seems like it'll be fun to watch. And so yeah, I am very much in for the roses.
My mom is in for it. No, I'm kidding.
Me and your parents will go watch it together.
Have fun. Have fun.
I will.
I'll go with your mom.
Your mom. Me and your mom. But anyway, on that note, that is the end of our trailer segment, and we're going to move on to what you should know before you go. We've got about 6.
What should I know, Ryan?
We got 6, a lot, because we have 6 quick hits to tell you about, and then we're going to talk about the 2 or 3 that interest us. So first, IFC's Good Boy to get a wide theatrical release after the official trailer goes viral. We talked about it last week. It looks terrifying, and I could not be more thrilled for this. Blade Runner 2099 to release next year on Amazon Prime to star Hunter Schafer and Michelle Yeoh. Rumored by insider Daniel RPK, most of the cast of Avengers Doomsday have already wrapped filming, but may have to return for reshoots due to the script still being actively written to this day. Dexter Original Sin has been canceled after 1 season at Paramount, months after Paramount renewed the series for a 2nd season. So out of here with the Original Sin. Warner Brothers' The Cat in the Hat animated feature is delayed by 9 months, now set to release November 6, 2026. And Nick Cage is in talks to star in True Detective's 5th season. So, with that out of the way, what interests you, Jake?
The Blade Runner 2099 because I love 2049, both of them. And to release on Prime theatrical, so this is not a series.
I've seen. So the thing is, the source that I saw did not describe it as a series, but if you look it up, it says a series. So I don't know. I don't think that detail's been. out
Okay,
yet.
sorry. To get a wide theatrical release and then say Prime and then it also say series. I don't know what it is.
I think it's released from Prime, so it's probably going to be like Amazon and MGM. I
There's
would imagine are going
A
to.
movie?
I don't know. I can look it up. I've seen it both, but if they're going theatrical, then it would be through MGM and it would be a movie. But it's not. I don't think it's. I think it's worded poorly. I don't think they're releasing on Prime per se, unless it is a series. But that's the thing. That's a good point to bring up. I've seen it both.
Yeah. And so, do you think this will follow something new entirely, or continue the story that we? I mean, I don't know if Gosling's and
It's
Harrison Ford's story. I mean, I thought that was over,
50
right?
years after that. No, it will have to be new. And so I'm the overview on Google. Google says it's an action 1-season series. And then the overview on Google is it's an upcoming American sci-fi television miniseries for Amazon Prime Video.
Okay. Now, well, I hope that they still lean on the noir detective level. And I mean, I thought that was kind of
I think a miniseries in a futuristic, because it's that world. Like that's the thing is that like I feel like they could get away with it.
Yeah,
It just
they
has to
could do
be-
something completely different, something completely original. But what's the conflict there? I'm just interested in knowing.
It has
we
to
didn't show you
be.
guys the official trailer. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Well, I don't think. Is there an official trailer for that? I didn't see one.
To get a wide theatrical release after the official trailer goes viral. So, no, that's Good Boy. Sorry,
You're looking at Good Boy.
I am. Apologies. This might be. I combined them, folks.
No, it's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
Because I thought it was. The thing is, what's funny is when I first wrote this down, I thought that it was going to be a movie too until I looked it up and saw series. So I didn't even see.
It is a series, folks, on Prime. But so there's not a trailer. Okay, cool. When that comes out, that will tell me a whole lot, and then we will show it. But I think that will tell us a lot, because I don't think a lot of these bigger companies can't keep a secret. They love to put everything in the trailer, man. I could, if I see a trailer from MGM or Marvel, I could pretty much tell you what happens in that movie.
Yeah,
which is unfortunate. And we didn't even say anything about, like, I'm gonna move on down the list here. We didn't say anything about the fight that happened on Doomsday's set, rumoring to be Downey, so Robert Downey Jr. and Ryan Reynolds. So Ryan Reynolds. And then I saw a TikTok right before we started where he was attributing that Ryan Reynolds is our generation Chevy Chase. And I was like, well, that's a crazy claim.
No, don't.
So
you can't
he
say
was
that.
saying that, like, some guy rises to the top of comedy, or like cinematic comedy, thinks he's hot stuff and can do whatever he wants and be rude to whoever he wants, and then he's just going to spiral down and be like Chevy Chase on a sitcom playing himself.
The hate for Ryan Reynolds. I understand that thing with his wife, and I think it was another actor. I don't remember who the other person was. That did not look great on them. But the hate that they get because of something that may or may not be, like, yeah, sure, maybe they didn't handle it great. Maybe they treated one person poorly. But leave the guy alone.
Who hasn't?
No, leave the
That's
guy.
what Ryan's getting at, folks.
No, I think he's suffering from too much success. I think he was seen everywhere for a while, and not just on big screen, but like Mint Mobile. Like the Mint Mobile ads with Ryan Reynolds. So then one bad thing came out and people were like, actually, I'm tired of seeing his face. He's probably a bad guy. And then I think that's probably what he's suffering from. So I'm going to be so for real. I think this is a whole load of hoo-ha. I think personally, the fight, I don't think that actually happened. I think Marvel's putting out stuff so people will be interested to seeing what happens.
Maybe.
Huh?
So you're thinking there was no fight at all, or do you think it was just a screaming match?
I think it's a publicity stunt. I don't think it happened at all. Because
Gotcha.
the original report was that there was a major blow up and that led to rewrites and actors. And then the names came out in like the media circus later. So could there have been a fight? Sure. Could it have been between those two? Sure. But even if there was one, it was probably a disagreement to some extent. And now people are blowing it up out of the water like it's something huge. I seriously doubt that's, like, if it did happen, we will definitely hear about it a lot after the movie releases, which we'll be here. But in this moment, I think it's I think it's phooey. I think that if something did happen, it was probably not that big a deal, or it was a publicity stunt by Marvel to try to be like, oh, look at the craziness behind the scenes. Ooh, don't you want to see the movie to see how it panned out? Ooh. So
Which
yeah,
arguably with 30 people, you're gonna have something happen with like even if it's not a publicity stunt, with having as many people, high dollar people, big
yeah.
names, you're gonna have somebody who doesn't like somebody. Which it seems like everybody's being filmed separately, according to Nightcrawler's take on that. Is like he was full green screen, had no idea who he was talking to for the majority of his takes. And then also to bring it back to what we had written here, Ryan, is most of the cast has finished filming. However, the script is still actively being written, which if anybody at home knows anything about movies and the way that I attribute it to a short film is if everybody's almost wrapped their shoots, but the script is still being written, how in the world can everybody still be wrapped?
The way, because my mindset is, oh, once I'm wrapped a film, and if I'm a big name like Alan Cummings is the name of the actor that plays Nightcrawler. That's a big enough name that he could be moving on to something different. The way that I can only imagine being an actor for Marvel is they don't just buy your performance, they buy your time for a certain window. So they're like, here's a lot of extra money for 3 months more than what you might need. Don't do anything else because we might need you because we write the scripts as we film. So that's got to be what this is. That's why probably they're like, yeah, they'll just bring him back and there's not going to be any problems with scheduling because that's in their contract. They bought him.
That irks me, and I know they've done it with like Endgame and Infinity War, and like writing the script during the filming. It's just like a pet peeve.
Maybe to an extent, but I don't feel like there was this amount of stuff beforehand because I feel like, because think about the first time we saw Thanos, it was at the end of like Thor 2 in like 2012. And so it's like this big thing that I feel like they were developing for a long time and probably had an idea of. Now they're just flying by the seat of their pants, right? Like they were going to go with Kang, and well, people didn't like Kang, and then Jonathan Majors got in trouble. So why don't we just move on to Doctor Doom? Oh, by the way, it's Robert Downey Jr. and we're writing it as we go. I feel like they so don't know what they're doing, and that's why they're rebooting.
Seat of their pants, yeah, killing everything off after Secret Wars.
Yeah, they're just like, you know what, we're going to restart so that we can plan from scratch because we scuffed the follow up to Endgame so poorly. That's what this is. I mean, let's just be real.
And then I do want to add in here that Splinter Cell is getting a Netflix TV show, by the way.
Tom Clancy?
Yeah. So so Splinter Cell was a video game as well as a book. I believe, right? That Splinter Cell was a character that Tom Clancy
inspired
wrote.
the games.
And he's also in like Rainbow Six Siege as a character in there, but mainly from the video games. But Netflix is hosting Splinter Cell Death Watch TV series. I'll add in there. And then I've heard a lot of like, moving on down the line, Dexter Original Sin. Everybody was like, dude, this was awesome. This was great. And there was supposed to be, I thought there was supposed to be a third thing that came out. Or there still is, where it's after the whole series of Dexter, right? Dexter Resurrection.
Yes, that's keep going, but yes.
Is it actively going on or just finished or okay? So everybody was like, heck yeah, like 3 different like of the same IP, and I thought it was doing well, but apparently not. It got canceled.
Sorry, please go ahead.
Well, after 1 season, and then literally said it was renewed, but then pulled back on that. Everybody was bummed.
Yeah, I feel like both were good. So the thing is, like Dexter, notoriously, it got Game of Thrones treatment where like its ending was so bad that people were mad, and then they came out with Resurrections at the same time as First Blood? What was it? Sorry, I'm blanking on the name of the
Original Sin.
Original Sin. Thank you.
Prior.
So yeah, so you have. I feel like. I don't know, because again, I feel like I was in the same boat as you. I thought people liked it, but they liked Michael C. Hall, who is the original Dexter, and they liked Resurrections more. So I feel like they might be like, let's just put all our chips in on this and finish it out, because apparently Resurrections is awesome. Like they did a great job of fixing that. So
you've got a lot of other big names, like Dinklage is in that one too.
Yeah.
And so whole new different level of story there.
I can't tell you why they would have canceled a show that seemed to have some popularity behind it. It wasn't as popular, again, as Resurrections, and that's not something that we're arguing. But it did seem like they had some heat behind both.
Yeah. So, is there? I don't know anything about True Detectives. I do think it's interesting that the Cat in the Hat got delayed. I wonder what they could possibly be doing in the 9 months.
months.
Was that the one that we were talking about that
Beanmouth.
well, yeah, but I don't think that was the one that everybody had freaked out about the animation. I thought it was something else, something more, something closer to people's hearts, like a video game character. Like it wasn't Mario. It was something
Shrek.
else.
Shrek is the one.
Oh, it was Shrek. It was
Yeah.
Shrek. Yeah,
That one got
then
delayed.
I thought they would. The Shrek got delayed too.
Oh, Shrek. Yeah, Shrek got delayed
Yeah.
to I think Christmas of next year.
Good.
Wait, no. It might have
Hopefully
gotten.
they're changing that.
Let me see when it got delayed. Delayed. Because I know that one did get recently. Yeah, it was Shrek 5 was delayed from December 26th to June 30th of 27. So, yeah.
Which we hope that it's being reanimated.
Well, a lot of people also think that it's because the meme online about Shrek 5 is that people completely predicted Zendaya's character, and now they're like
Hit it on the dot.
And now they're like, "Grr!" And they got to go back and fix it because people knew what it was. And so, yeah, that
Guarantee you that's what it was.
could be both. But no, I want to see better from the Cat in the Hat, because while we talked when we saw the trailer, the things, like, they're cute and I like them, like they looked really cool. The animation for the cat made me mad, and I cannot tell you why I got such a visceral reaction from him. But his facial reactions to things, literally, I was like, I couldn't sit through an hour and a half of seeing this main character because he agitates me. That is such a dramatic reaction, and I'm sorry, but that's how I was like, man, his mouth makes me, I don't like the way he smiles. He's just, the whole time he's just, I don't like that. I don't like it. Sorry.
Okay, that's all right. It's okay. You're allowed to have opinions here, Ryan.
Yeah, it's not like it's a podcast that we host or anything. We can have our own opinions, but
facts only.
Yeah. But anyway, we're over the 2-hour mark, so we're way over time. But that
sorry, folks,
is the end of our episode of Beyond the Screen. Thank you guys for being here. Jake, is there anything you want to leave the people with before we see them out?
Don't drink a whole fake red Solo cup of coffee and Takis at the same time. There will be consequences.
Do you want to elaborate?
Nope.
And on that note, for the final time in this episode, I'm Ryan. That's Jake. Behind the camera's Emily. And this has been Beyond the Screen. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next week.